Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Swemp Electronics Football Alliance Division 1. This is Matchday 15, and I'm here today with our resident midweek commentator, Quinton Fortuna. Good evening, Quinton.
Good evening, Mr. Megahorse.
How's things today?
Yeah, very well. Hoping to bounce back from an absolute battering last time, so we'll see how we get on.
Battering last time, which we can see on that screen there, Atletico Alumwell taking the 4-0 victory over Fortuna, which last time round, of course, it was 0-0. So, yeah, a bit of a downturn of Fortuna for you, I suppose, that time. But
Very good.
nevertheless, it wasn't the biggest victory of the day because, of course, if you take into account goals scored, then Iron Curtain got the biggest win against Racers, and then of course Ewan Rovers beat Flamingos as well. Wolfie is in the house. Good evening, Andrew Richards. Good
Good evening,
evening.
Andrew.
Welcome to this. You can see your wonderful Wolves weren't quite so wonderful last time. They lacked the bite and lost to Falaraki. But that left the league table in this position here with 1 point separating those top four teams. Quinton, do you have an idea who's going to take this title?
It's a tough one to call, isn't it? I'm gonna say Hulls at this point. I have no idea why I'm going for them because they've not got the best goals or best defense. I just like the concept they've got, so I'm going to go Hulls. I'm going to call them a slight underdog because Phoenix are in front at the minute. But it could be anyone from that top four, couldn't it? But my predictions have been more, save for a couple of exceptions. So I'll go Hulls and still leaves it open for any of them.
Yeah, yes, and I imagine that it's not going to come from outside those top four, is it, at this point? A 7 point gap that we can see between fourth and fifth. That the division Tato continually refers to as Division 1B. That's even getting a bit stretched out now, isn't it, with the Falaraki and Allenwell pulling away from the Badgers, the Wolves, and the what was it, Ewan Rogers that they were referred to at one point, of course.
Oh yes, I remember you and Rogers. I think he used to play for one of the teams, didn't he?
Not quite Bjorn Johansson, who obviously we've noticed tonight. Was that from 93-94?
It is the 93-94 database. Mr. Bumman, the defensive midfield centre, is very good actually.
He's manager
He's
of
good at going in
Frederickstock
behind.
nowadays. Good, yes, he certainly does have that power. Mr. Savage is here. Mike Savage, good evening. We're going to have a little look at the fixtures for today. Ewan Rovers versus the Iron Curtain, of course, a big battle there between two teams that a win will surely take them away from that relegation worry. Falaraki, Imaginary Madrid. Imaginary Madrid really do need to get a victory. And then, of course, yourself, Fortuna versus the Badgers. Hulls and East Coast, that's a massive game, isn't it, tonight?
Yeah, it is a big game. I think that'll go some way to determining whether we keep it tight at the top, won't it, or whether they can, if Hulls get a victory and Phoenix can get a victory. Trafford to play Wolves, that could be a tough one as well. So if a couple of teams win and the others can drop points today, then it could make a little gap at the top. We could have Division 1 A, B, maybe.
Just continue stretching out. We have 14 individual divisions by the end of the season, which will be interesting. I mean, the gulf couldn't be much bigger, could it? Of Phoenix versus Flamingos. It's certainly not a game that we quite expected to be a close one tonight.
There's a clear favourite for that one, isn't there? And I think even I could maybe get that prediction kind of right. I mean, the games I'm looking forward to, the one at the top, you and Rovers against the Iron Curtain, that'll be interesting, ninth versus 10th, because as you say, you and Rovers they're above Iron Curtain, and if Iron Curtain can get a victory, it sort of brings them back into it. If you win, it puts them even further from safety, doesn't it? Further from the drop. And I quite fancy the Wolves boys to give Trafford a good game tonight as well.
We shall see. We shall see. I noticed that we jumped up from 3 viewers to 7. Wow. I think someone logged in four devices at once. That's my guess with that one. Uh, let's take us into the opening match for today. We also have a massive round of Champions League games going on there. And you can see at the bottom of the screen there, a familiar team to Division 2 viewers, that the 76ers are up against Vardar Skopje. That'll be an interesting one to see just how how that goes on. And our Norwegian friends, Hamaka Marathon, or whatever they're called, they will be playing against Ferencvaros and hitting from 1-0 down. So we'll have a look at that at the end. So the opening game is Wacky Racers versus Atletico Alanwell, and the Racers have gone almost unchanged, although one of your favourites is back in the team, Chris Coleman.
Yeah, I like Cookie. He's decent in 93-94 database. He's a striker as well as a defender. So it's I mean if they're losing late on, maybe he'll push up a little bit later. But yeah, I do like the Racers team. It's obviously it's found its position in the league, and they've got some difficult opposition tonight. But they do what they can with the limited resources of the Welsh population, and it's not a bad lineup they've got.
And of course, Craig Bellamy now is making his way into the top scorers chart, which a few games ago I don't think we'd have thought of at all.
No, he's coming to some form, hasn't he? I mean, I'm a bit stuck on the left-footed preference because I don't think that's right at all. But
No,
yeah, he's
because
a
left
decent
isn't right,
player on
that's
this.
correct, yeah.
Well, it's correct, yeah.
Um, yes, who would you rather have in your team, Chris Coleman or Hans Moman?
Well, I think they're both the same age, aren't they? They're both about 31. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
he's
go with
just turned
Molman just to
32.
block the ball with his groin.
Nobody is as good as my Yavin, says Andrew Richards. Only
I
one
think that's a
goal
fair
ahead,
comment when
though.
he's league top scorer, isn't it? He's spot on there.
But he's only one goal ahead instead of about the 12 or so it was before. So Alanwell today, minimal changes for them as well. Sees Kamuna step in for the suspended Rustico, of course it is.
Yeah, I don't think that weakens them at all. Said they had a real good result last time out, and they were very strong in the performance. There's not a weak link in the side really. I like Ilola in the centre midfield role. He's decent. He keeps things moving. I mean, Casano for me is never a player I've had really from an individual perspective, but it's interesting to see him in the attacking midfield role. See if he can have a decent performance. And I like the use of the wingers. So yeah, good lineup.
Yeah, he's doing a decent job in that position, definitely, Casano, and he's someone to maybe think about in other games, maybe home saves or something. I don't think I've signed him either. Anyway, let's kick off the first game of the day, and Racers versus Alanwell. Who are you predicting to win this one? Is it Alanwell?
Yeah, I've got to go Lunwell. I think I've got 3-1 Lunwell.
Let's have a look. Let's get started. I don't know if either manager's on commentary tonight, but if you on commentary in the chat tonight, but if you are on, just make it known to us, and we'll put your stats on at half time first.
And make
Okay.
your predictions.
Yeah, of course. Just chuck them in. Obviously, make predictions anytime during the build-up at all. And it was, Matt Delaney has gone. I was about to say that not much has happened, and we've lost a man straight away. Tato says he
2-footed
doesn't
tackle.
care. That's a prediction. He doesn't care. We're down to a team needing a right back. Now, for me,
Savage has got to come on,
yeah,
hasn't he?
Savage is the man to
Mike's
come
brother
on.
Robbie is coming on, isn't he?
But I mean, who would you sacrifice at this point? I mean, I know.
Probably Hartson, but I'd have a quick look at the conditions just in case.
I know who I'd take off, but
You take Darren Barn. Oh, yeah, you take Giggs. I think just going on going on the
going for
potential and
one
the
up front.
abilities.
You think, yeah.
I think Hartson's got to go, hasn't he? I'd leave one up front. Bellamy's in form, isn't he? And Big Mike's brother can get on there.
So Steve Wright is in the chat as well tonight. It's good to have you on here, and he's already Mike Savage very very pleased to see Robbie coming onto the pitch. So that one change there very early on, to the red card for Mike Delaney, as you said here. Saved penalty from Paul Jones.
Ibrahim Saeed, would you believe it?
It's certainly been an interesting start to this game, and Alanwell should have taken the lead, but Paul Jones, or Paul Jones as he's known, also making a good penalty save, and it's 1-0 to the Racers. Simon Davies has scored. They don't need the two strikers, they're up. And 12 minutes to half time. Can Alan Wall get back into this game?
Tell you what, Savage touched an 8 there.
Oh, well, he's had an impact certainly in this half, hasn't he? A yellow card for Chris Coleman. I think he took down Yavin just before half time. Oh, it's an own goal for Chris Coleman. It's an own goal. I think it was
Coleman's
Chris
pulling a
Coleman.
Johnny Woodgate here, isn't he? It's
Yeah, it is an own goal for Chris Coleman. Saeed missed a penalty. Delaney sent off. We've had everything so far.
I'd say one of every colour. I mean, to be fair, it's impressive by the races, isn't it? I mean, not so impressive by Matt Delaney with his early contribution of the two-footed tackle, but good save from the penalty. And I mean, who would have bet on them going in front once they went a man?
Yeah, once they were that man down, it certainly wasn't expected. Yeah, so we've got conversation in the chat about hair. Yeah, so Steve hoping that Mike Savage's hair is the same as Robbie. I can say it definitely is. That afro is a lie. You've got Robbie Savage's hair, and Wolfie has got the iron brew out, so it's all good, isn't it? The red card, yeah, hacking down Ilola with 2 feet in the penalty area. A red card, and Saeed missed the penalty, or rather saved by Joels, and then Gary Speed knocking it down for Simon Davies taking the lead. And then just before half time, the ball shot in from Yavin and it's smashed in off Coleman. So nothing he can do about that, I don't think.
No, he's unlucky there, isn't he? I mean, to pick up a booking in it and an own goal in the first half is pretty poor. But I'd like to see him come back. And yeah, good performances from his defensive partner Melville and Robbie Savage at right back there with an 8 as well as Paul Jones. So good first half from the defence.
Not bad at all. I mean, we could say Coleman was unlucky, but I think John Hartson is even more unlucky to have played less than 8 minutes and made that one pass, which was successful, and then been subbed.
Did they take kick off? Is that what it was?
It probably was just that. We'll have a little look and see if they are taking kick off for the second half. Kamuna's looking a little bit. A full frontal pick needed. I don't know. Not quite sure. Yeah,
Well,
I just can't quite work out why we need the full frontal, but yeah, we should. Steve, you must have your reasons. So Kamuna, it is, who's struggling. I think he can go through to 60 minutes and then see if it's needed. I think at this point.
yeah, it potentially looks like he's picked up a knock, doesn't it? As well as his 5, and Zauri's not performing much better as well in his position, is he? So poor performance from him, well compared to what they're capable of. I suppose the good news for them is it's still level, and although races are performing better at the minute, it's still anyone's game at the moment. And having 11 against 10, that could take its toll as the game wears on.
When your 3-1 is maybe still on. Because the second half gets started and immediately Alamo coming forward, but now the Racers with a chance. Oh, almost. And then coming towards the substitution time, I think it's going to be needed.
There's a lot of 5s in that Alumwell team now.
Yeah, it's not quite going as they'd expect. For the Racers, we'll just check and see if they've got any serious troubles. Doesn't look like they do. Barnard is Barnard. He's always in that sort of situation, isn't he? I don't believe there are any plans for substitutes with. There's no plan changes, just as you see fit. We'll have a look and see if Davies is carrying anything. He isn't, and
I think everyone else isn't doing so bad. I think Barnard's only down 3% since half time. So
yeah, I mean Fowler. There's no one to replace Fowler. Coleman's in defence.
there's Matthew Jones, isn't there? But I'd keep it as it is. That they're holding him. So I mean, a 6 isn't horrible. It's 1-1. I probably wouldn't make too many changes, to be honest. I'd keep it as is if there's no requested.
Yeah, I think so. It's just as we see fit, and I think at this point it's not so bad. But yeah, look at the Allenwell 5s. It will be Kamuna coming off definitely at this point, even though he's not on a 5. And then I think Ilola in that central midfield position will be the other candidate for me.
Yeah, I mean, you could have a bit of a change around, couldn't you? You could.
Well, I do know Cassano gets quite often put into central midfield for Robbie.
Well, Velas is a centre mid, isn't he? So he could go in there if needed. He's another option. That's his best position, I think, centre mid.
I think if we just switch Zauri and Neville over for that side,
Yeah, he's always
Velas,
a left sider.
yeah, Velas has made only one sub appearance in here, but then looking at the others to come on, Kanga is he's much more of a right-sided player. Yeah, Velas, he's been alright, hasn't he? He could definitely do that job. He's quite similar to Aloma.
It's the most natural position, I would say. I think if it was defensive
Yeah,
mid, I'd stick Keats in, but I'd put Velas on in that position. And I mean, whatever they do, it's got to be better than what's happened so far, hasn't it?
indeed. We'll get to that. Velas at centre mid. It is his strongest position, Steve. It is true. It is definitely his.
Hey, let's see him get a goal and an assist here, and then we'll see who's vomiting.
He'll get red
He's
card.
not going to get anything.
It's a goal for Cassano. And they've put themselves into the lead. The substitute, whatever happened, it has worked so far. 20 minutes left in the game. Racers 1, Allenwell 2. And with just over 10 minutes to go. Editors. It's always editor talks when it's me, isn't it? Giggs has, or whatever he's called, has had a chance to score. And with just a few minutes left, this looks like it has been won. A late chance. It is 2-1. Full time. Jones to no avail his efforts. Racers, they certainly took the game to Oldham despite only having 10 men for almost all of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they can probably feel hard done by not to get a point there. I think Alumwell have probably just edged it as the game went on in terms of going
Yeah.
half. I mean, yeah, so you've got to be disappointed once you've performed that well with 10 men for so long. But the lads in the races team are going to go in there and they're going to take out Mark Delaney in the change room.
we in what a full frontal way, or we shall see what they're going to do. So the goal it was Bobby Petter doing some good work crossing it in, and Cassano had time to control the ball before finishing it off, and then Saeed took his yellow card, which of course, if they didn't win, it would have certainly not been the best game for him today. So Jones man of the match, decent performance from Andy Melville.
And Savage on a 9 on
Oh yeah,
the
I
bottom
didn't
there.
even
So
notice that.
excellent performance from defensive positions. Mike's got to be pleased there. As I said, Savage let down by the rest of the team. But yeah, Melville was very good, wasn't he, alongside Coleman, and he's helped Coleman up to a 7 as the game wore on. Fowler even got up to a 7 as well. So nobody's put in a bad shift really, other than Mark Delaney. He's let his whole team down there, and just as well as Race have played to keep it level for so long. Along well, just the quality showed at the end.
Yep, and little cousin Robbie doing exactly what he needs to do for Mike Savage watching today's performance. So unlucky to Mr. Hopkins, but the win came. Certainly, that second goal showed some improvement to the players just for the Allenwell side.
Yeah, a bit of quality from Petter with the assist, but if you look at the rest of his performance, it's only his key passing. He's not won a tackle, not made any headers, not had a shot. So he's not done an awful lot else. But it's just that bit of quality, isn't it? Casano's made the difference, really. 5 shots, 4 on target, got an 8. And even the defence did pick up in the end. There was a lot of 5s just into 1 in the end when Ilola went off. And I think all the difference was made by Julian Velas going into that centre midfield role where he's more natural.
And Jimmy Walker showing that both goalkeepers have played well today. Into the second match, and it's a massive one here, isn't it? The Hulls versus East Coast. We never looked at the previous meeting between the two sides in the Let's have a quick look at the Allenwell versus Racers. Last time they met, not progress, past meetings, it was 3-2 to Allenwell, so they have come out victorious in both matches this season. And if we now have a look at the next match for these two, the cup game resulted in a 3-0 win for Hulls, but in the league we had a 3-1 win for the East Coast last time.
Yeah, interesting, that isn't it? It's It's not really gone one way. I noticed Ede hasn't gone for Hulls at that point. I think things have changed a little bit in terms of lineups for both of these as the season's progressed. But yeah, four goals, 4 and 3 against for Hulls in the two meetings. So it's going to be tight either way.
Yeah, or maybe a decent victory, which they know they need, because of course both games have been they've been 2 or 3 goal margins. So Ruggiero, yes, he's got his place in goal. Dida is back from injury and now third choice goalkeeper. We're missing Ronaldo, Raul, and who's the one in defence? Lucio, all missing for this game. Mr. Dimble is in the chat. The East Coast manager. Good evening, Mr. Dimble.
Yeah, it's an interesting. I mean, there's some big misses there for Hulls, isn't it? After I just backed them to go on and win the league as well. I mean, it's a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it? So this game won't do anything. But I mean, looking at the team, the only thing I would change to this is I'd swap them two strikers over just for Amoroso's left foot and Elber's right footed. But it's a great team, isn't it? There's plenty of quality in there, and the, probably centre backs maybe they're weakest with the Aero and Mourinho in there, but they're still two decent players. So yeah, cool. Should be a good game.
Yeah, and just while lacking Lucio in defence, he has performed well this season, and and of course missing Raul, who nearly on an 8 as well. He's on an 8.09 in the league. Ronaldo not having the greatest season, but he is still scoring goals. So let's see how they get on this game up against East Coast. And of course, if you want to chuck your predictions in the chat, please go ahead at any point. East Coast last time out were 1-0 victorious over the Badgers, who David Priest was inspired for, wasn't he? But East Coast a few line-up changes today, and we see the attacking midfield wide men have moved back a little bit.
Yeah, well, I suppose they're a bit more defensively minded, particularly Torricelli is he's not really an attacking wide player, but again, I like the formation that the East Coast play. It's interesting. Big dunk up front. You should get plenty of chance if the balls are whipped into him with the two wide players, and I like Bonk's little run backwards into the centre midfield as well. So yeah, plenty of quality. Martin Keown in the centre of defence. He's had some good performances, hasn't he? So yeah, I think this is going to be a tight one. I'd say although back tools to win the league, I think I'm going to say 2-2 in this game and just predict a little bit of entertainment.
2-2. Ryan's here as well, the Phoenix manager. The crowd's certainly gathering for this. The probably the game of the day, which is happening early on. Reverse wing backs will be back at some point.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds interesting. I like it.
they have worked fairly well, I suppose. Yeah, this is a game where I suppose no gambles are needed. This is one to go out for it. Quinton, your prediction for today?
Still 2-2. I've not
Oh,
changed
you've
since a
just
few
said.
seconds ago.
You have just said. Yeah. What do you think the score's going to be though?
Yeah, I think Desmond Tutu is gonna come and watch.
Right. Yeah, big one for this one. I predict 0-0. Just this, it'll be more entertaining than that. Then let's kick off from Valhalla, and we have had the early goal because I said it was going to be 0-0. Steve Wright went for 2-1 to East Coast. Dimble went for 2-0 to East Coast, which is already out as the early goal from Giovanni Elbert has gone in. We've got Tato Mourinho predicting 0-0. I don't know whether that was after the goal went in or just as he was doing that.
I'm going to give Wolves the benefit of the doubt there and say it was at kick-off rather than after the goal of Hulls.
There wasn't much time after kick-off, was there? We are heading in to the last part of the first half, and East Coast are certainly getting back into it. Hull's holding on now as the chances keep coming for East Coast. Another chance there. Oh, nothing happened with that one. They got close to the goal, but couldn't quite put the shot on target. And then a late flurry from Hulls maybe before half time. Ferguson with a chance for East Coast. Anze Elias as well. Couldn't put the ball in. John Terry as well. 3 shots quickly before half time. And it is nil. It's 0-0. It's 1-0 to Hulls as it stands. A good first half.
Yeah, good first sight. It seemed end to end from the commentary, and I think you can see by Ruggiero's nine that he's the man of the match so far. And I mean, I'm surprised it's only the one shot for Hulls. East Coast did seem to edge it, but there was still plenty of black on the bottom. But it does show, doesn't it? And that reflects in Ruggiero's rating. He's been on top form in his first half to keep things. Well, I was going to say even, but Hull's in front as things stand.
He certainly has been battering the. He's been battered, hasn't he, Rogerio? But he's managed to save everything that's come at him. We'll just take a quick look at that goal. So it's a Sergio ball in towards Albert, who puts that header in. And East Coast, we'll have a look at East Coast first, as Dimble's in the chat. He might want to make any changes. You can see Estebaria is struggling on 79 there. So we'll see what you think about it. But Quinton, what do you think about it?
I mean, they've done all right, haven't they? But they're looking a bit ropey, some of the players. Bonk might have an injury. Ferguson's just probably tired, isn't he? Because he's had to move a little bit. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Bonk's with
He's
a
bumped his
slight
knee.
knee injury there, isn't
Ferguson's
it, as
just
well? So it's,
Ferguson. Yeah.
yeah, they're really unlucky. I mean, to be fair, in terms of the rating, sixes and sevens, they're not brilliant, but they seem to have dominated the shots on goal, don't they? Six to
Yeah.
one, all six on target, so they can count themselves unlucky to be going into the break behind, but they do need to do more and change to seven and eights.
And Dimble is saying no subs at half time, whereas Figo will be withdrawn for Hulls here. Looking into the team, yet defensively, very, very solid.
Yeah, Hierro's played really well, hasn't he? And Dede in terms of the tackling. Mourinho's won all three key tackles. So I did highlight before the game that on paper, really, the centre back is a weak point, but still quality. Mourinho, and they're making me eat my words so far with the 2-8 performances. Rogerio's been excellent in goal.
Yeah, of course, Tato Mourinho saying it's an all Super League matchup that we've got here. Jens of the Hulls and Churchtown's latest manager, or caretaker manager, or whatever we're going to call him, holiday club cover manager, or whatever he is, Dimble, covering there. So yeah, making his debut as a Super League manager, but in the Swemp League. So let's have a quick look at the Figo substitute. I think that would be a Jeremy move at the moment, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean you've got a couple of options there. I think with it being on the right, I'd rule out Denilson. It's either Jeremy or
Yeah,
Gerard
Jeremy's
is
league's
the other one,
form
isn't
has
he?
been good. Gerard's hasn't been quite as positive there at the moment. Jeremy's certainly played his way into contention a little bit more. Churchtown's Ryan Mason coming in for tomorrow night. Sorry, Sunday night. What would you call it? Their cup final against their Fife East side, of course. So no changes at half time for East Coast. One for the Hulls, and into that second half. He's still hoping for another 3 goals for you, then, Quinton, at this point.
It's been
Early
entertaining.
chance.
I'll
Oh,
take an entertaining.
Estebaria has scored. He's come on to the second half, despite being injured, and popped that one in. We'll go to East Coast first of all for substitutes while we have a look and see what's happening. So definitely Estebaria is carrying it up, but he's scored. And that's where Tato will say that condition means nothing. And Bonk 78, 3 yellow cards, and the ratings wise for these, you're looking at those with you got 5 sixes in your first team there, Dimble.
Yeah, they're not at the best, are they? Which is, I mean, it's even more testament to the way they've set up to be 1-1 and dominating the play. It's going to be interesting to see what substitutions are made at this point, isn't it? Because there does probably need to be change, but absolute masterstroke from the manager leaving Estebaria on with those glowing motivational words. Go out and get the goal.
Yes, yeah, us saying, yeah, we take him off proves complete nonsense, doesn't it? It's we'll move on to who's just wild Dimble's thinking about what he's doing. Obviously, he's doing. There were Torricelli and Bonk for Keeley and Salva. So let's go into that. So Bonk would be for Salva and Keeley Gonzalez for Torricelli. There we are.
And swap Salva and Estebaria.
Salva and Estebaria. Moving on to those bits there. Condition is a myth. There we are. That's not me. That's not my comment there at all. That is the words of
Well,
this
under
captain.
40% isn't, to be fair, because if you're under 40%, they get taken off injured straight away.
They certainly do. Those pre-season friendlies when everyone's in the 30s and you got 5 injuries in the first 2 or 3 minutes. Quick look into Hull's for things that are going on. I think there's nothing to do. You wouldn't take off Emerson, and so they'll be left unchanged. Half an hour to go. And this is nicely poised at 1-all. Chance there for Dede. He came very close to scoring. And now we've got Hull certainly looking a bit more lively than they did in the first half, according to the shot count, I guess. But it's looking more like, I don't know, is anyone going to get their breakthrough? Mourinho has been sent off. Now that is not the best news for Hulls. And with, I don't know, for me, Elbear's on 83%. He has scored though. I don't know, you'd be taking off a striker at this point and making sure you didn't lose the game.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same. If it were me, I'd take Elbair off just because Amoroso's in better condition. Elbair has got a goal, hasn't he? But
Let's
I'd leave him on. He needs a match practice a couple of percent better.
yeah, Elbear. Well, Elbear's the main man. Amoroso's only come in because of an injury to the starting lineup, so we will take
Yeah,
Amoroso
go that
off.
and then Agel. Yeah, get Agel on.
Yeah, see if he gives two.
No one Agels with him.
There we are. Hierro central, just the one centre back.
If you want a top of the table clash, then yeah, I'd go with that.
This is going to be an interesting end to the game. It should have been more of an East Coast barrage, but we're seeing chances for Hulls going forward still. And Elbear as a lone striker hasn't had a chance though during this bit. A late one there, I think that was Estabir again. One last chance. A save from Ruggiero and a 1-all full-time result. It's a fair reflection of the game, and Hierro deserved man of the match.
Yeah, he's played really well. I mean, I'm not sure it is a fair reflection, really. I think East Coast did batter them a lot, but Hulls were just the better performers, didn't they, individually? So it's 1-1. It's not a bad result for both teams, to be fair. I think either side could count themselves a little unfortunate. Hulls did hit the bar late on through Elbear in the last few minutes or so after that substitution. So if he'd have put that away, it would have been really unfair in terms of the result. But yeah, I think East Coast played well and were unlucky, particularly in that first half. And Hulls have done well to hold on with the 10 men.
Yeah, I suppose if I clarify what I mean by a fair reflection, the Hulls defence was outstanding, and you know they've certainly done a job to keep the score down at this point. I mean, look at that. Is that an Igmatulin assist, or is it just too far away? He's played it to Estebaria. He's taken the ball along, taken it past Hierro, and just ran with it. But that should be an assist for the keeper. So we'll have a little look at that afterwards. And you said it a late hit in the bar. So
Yeah, I think it's that
84th
84th minute one. Oh, maybe not. There was definitely a hit in the bar at some point. There you go. It's the next one.
Hit the bar there at 85th minute. And yeah, should have scored 3 in the first half. Probably a good way of putting that down. Well, yeah, hanging on at the end. So, yep. I mean,
It's a decent contribution from Jeremy as well, isn't it? I mean, he's made 31 passes in that second half, which is it's not far off the top members of the team. But yeah, Hierro did excellently in defence, and 75% of his tackles, 7 of them are key. He's won 4 out of 7 headers, and some really other good other defensive performances too, particularly from Ruggiero in goal.
Yeah, he's still not scored yet though, Ruggiero. A shame for them. Nigmatulin doesn't get the assist on that, and Duncan Ferguson gets it, despite the fact his name wasn't mentioned in that at all.
Yeah, but he probably just stared at a defender and they fell over out the way. So he's probably done something for it. But some good performances from the team as well. I mean, Tomasi with a 9, excellent performance from him. Two substitutes didn't get involved too much, but Salva had a decent effort on goal near the end. I say that it's just the individual performances wise. There's only Ferguson, Estabri, and Tomasi who've really probably hit form other than Nick Matulin. The rest of them just need to do it a little bit more. East Coast could have come away with a win.
And at the end of this round, both teams could end up 3 points behind Phoenix, I suppose, with them playing Flamingos. So it's not the end of the world, of course. A threatening video scaring him to performing. Yes, it's a great video. It certainly is a very good video. Now into the next game, the battle of 9th and 10th. Iron Curtain United, who last time round against Ewan Rovers, it was a 2-2 draw. And yeah, it was 2-0 at half time, with then Critchley, who's now in the top scorers page, and Rob Hulse with the goals to pull it back. Iron Curtain United, one change there, sees it's Mostovoy who's out of the lineup, and in comes Alexis Smertin.
Yeah, Mostovoy was doing well for assists, wasn't he? So it's an odd one that really. Dimble's off. Good night, Dimble. Well
Yeah, good
played.
night. Thank you. Thank you for coming in and making your change. Come on, Ewan. Of course, Ewan did beat East Coast earlier this season.
Yeah, I'm surprised really in terms of Iron Curtain that Shevchenko's not even got a place anywhere in the squad today, and Mostovoy, despite all his assists, is out too. But I mean, there's plenty of quality in there. The Vasilyuk's an excellent striker. Sigalko for me probably plays better by himself, but is always capable of a goal. Um, and Titov in centre mid, I think he plays better there in the centre midfield role than he does in attacking midfield a lot. So yeah, decent lineup. Tetradze has been in decent form too, hasn't he, in defence? So if they can build on 6-2 victory last time, they'll go above you, won't they, after this?
The 6-2 victory last time, of course, yes. I'm just having a quick look at the side for today from Iron Curtain, just to check Shevchenko definitely isn't in the side, but I believe there was just one change to the lineup for today, so I'm just going to have a quick scan of this. It seems to have just
Well, there's plenty of good strikers in that squad anyway, isn't there?
yeah,
As I said, in terms of Vasilyuk and Sigalko, they're good for goals themselves. If Shevchenko's been left out, it just shows they are underperforming in terms of league performances. But they've put some decent team performances in. They've just come up against teams in good form as well.
some teams in very good form at this point. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, it's take Mostovoy out for Smertin, everything else the same. So Mostovoy off for Smertin defensive mid. I'm just seeing that there on there. So that does say that, everything else. But then it says 4-1-3-2, everything else the same. 4-1-3-2 must be that then. Yeah, that's it. Everything else the same. There we go. Let's do what I'm supposed to do.
There you go. That's up.
So it's everything else the same apart from all the changes. There we are. For Ewan Rovers, they make just a few changes to their lineup, which sees Flitcroft coming into keeping his place in the side. He is keeping his place, but this big change at the back sees Rimmer restored and Foster moving to right back.
Yeah, Rimmer will clean things up, won't he, at the back there? He's quite good at picking them up in the hole. Foster, I've not seen so much of this season, so I don't know he'll perform.
Yeah, Foster. Yeah, good but bad. I suppose that's the way to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, Flitcroft's played very well in the cup, hasn't he? In that centre midfield role. Laurie and Critchley alongside him are decent as well. So they have been surprising you in terms of some of the results because they've got smattering of quality in there, aren't they, as well? And Saviola and Blinkhorn are forming a real good partnership up top and liable for goals.
Yeah, so we've got Blinkhorn 10 goals, including the cup this season, and Saviola on 6. It is certainly something that is working for Mr. Shaw during this season. So into this one, prediction for you?
I'm going to say 1-4. Only because I need Iron Curtain to win really to bring you into my territory.
So Björn Gunnar Salen refereeing 2 excellent kits. It's going to be quite difficult on the eyes, I think. We'll have a little look and see what goes on. So, early chance coming for Ewan. It's a yellow card, I think, for Smirtine already. We're
That
seeing
Iron Curtain kit's pretty nice, to be fair.
Carpine with the goal. It's a lovely set of colours, is it? Carpine with the early goal. And we are now quarter of an hour in. The game has settled down after a pretty frantic start. Coming back at it, a yellow card for Tradza as well. And we are just looking and seeing if there's anything else can happen, but at the moment it's gone a bit quiet. Titov with a chance. And
It's all Iron Curtain so far, isn't it?
every time Ewan get the ball, they just seem to lose it, and it goes. Blinkhorn has had a chance. He's having a bit of a poor match at the moment. Close to half-time prediction was 0-0 from Tato. It's now 1-all. Carl Lorry getting the goal, and Nicky Ferenko making it 2-1 just before half-time. He's almost scored another one, but 2-1 at half-time. I think certainly was a game that took a while to get going, but Iron Curtain have made the most of their chances.
Yeah, I mean, it looks quite a good game from the stats there, but to be fair, it's not been that even. I don't think. I say down the bottom, it's all Iron Curtain seemingly. You must have had the chance in quick succession, but one thing about Ewan is that they're pretty clinical in front of goal. So Carl Lorry had that chance and took it. A little bit wasteful with some of their chances, so it's not all over yet.
It certainly is not all of it. Let's take a look at the goals. So, just in the 4th minute of the match, wasn't it? Nicky Franco with a shot, and Carpine puts in the rebound after Shawcross couldn't hold that ball. Then, to make it 1-all, Carl Lorry. We've taken on Carpine, Nicky Franco, and Titov, so all the midfield three, he's taken them all on and then scored without having to do anything for a defender. And then Carpine to Nicky Ferenko, who's, well, be turned and put it in. So a nice finish there. And then they almost scored again for Ewan. Yeah, Blinkhorn's first half not living up to how he usually plays at all.
No shots on target, no headers won, half his passes. So yeah, pretty poor half from him. Saviola's not done an awful lot alongside him, but he's had a couple of shots at least with one on target. Carl Lorry with goal of the day so far, with that excellent dribble past the three centre mids of Iron Curtain. But other than that, no one's pulling up trees. Either they've got a few sevens, rest on sixes. So Carl Lorry's holding the team up by himself at the minute.
And Ewan Rovers, no subs at half time required here. For CCCP, Carpine and Nicky Ferenko got the goals and got the higher ratings.
Yeah, and Valerie's got an assist as well, hasn't she? So she's doing really well in that centre midfield role. Everyone else, though, yeah, on 7 trailing. Segalko's not doing too much. He's had similar to Blinkhorn in terms of his headers, hasn't he? 5 attempts and no one.
Yeah, he's just doing it
so
passing wise.
Yeah, Strike will just need to do a little bit more in the second half to put the game to bed. But you and I are pretty clinical usually. So if they get Laurie or Flickroff with a chance, then you wouldn't rule out picking up a point here.
No. In the second half, well, there's parts of that first half that bored me, and then the rest of it was pretty interesting. So let's hope for the interesting parts in the second half.
It's not started that way.
No, it certainly didn't. Saviola's hit the post though, and then Foster has equalised. So you did say that they were looking, clinical, and there's the goal that we could have done with early on in the second half. We got it, and it went to Ewan Rovers.
Yeah, again, a masterstroke by the manager. We had some decent manager performances so far, haven't we? Foster's come in. Foster's got a goal.
Yeah, Critchley is carrying an injury. Flickcroft isn't, and Laurie isn't either. So I mean, Critchley will come off definitely, and that will be Shellstrom in that position.
Yeah, I think he's got to come on, hasn't he?
And I think at the other point, the other sub that would be made at this point would probably be Flickcroft.
Yeah, just in terms, because I don't know how performance-wise they're doing ratings. If has anyone picked up this second half? I haven't really looked at those.
He's still on a 6, and Salt's there, isn't he, in midfield? And
Salt just sprinkles a little bit of quality in there, doesn't he?
He does indeed. So there we go for the two subs there. Iron Curtain for their subs, it's usually a 75 or lower for these, so no substitutes happening for them. Any really poor performances? No, Sigalco's not got a goal, but there's no suggestion of substitutes. So the last half hour is going to be an interesting one. And immediately there's been a save called upon from Schalquist. 20 minutes left, and the game has very quiet parts. Nikiforenko takes the yellow card, and Stam it is who gets the goal. Was that a free kick?
He was from some way out, I think. I don't know about free kick. Could have been.
Last few minutes. Can the Iron Curtain get back into this one? UN Rovers look like they may have done enough. Last minute chance. Oh, it's just off there. And 3-2. What a comeback for UN Rovers.
Yeah, they're very good, very clinical. And again, it was just after the substitutions there. They only really seemed to have that one chance for, well, not even a chance, was it, for John Pastor, and he's hit the back of the net.
Critchley to Foster and a low drive. Very nice. And then it is a free kick from Yapstam to the shirt pull from Nikiforenko. And we have well played Ewan Rogers. I mean, you've got to say, that is a very, very good result. And they've pulled off yet another one. Stam looking great in that game. Patrick Vieira being Patrick Vieira. And a whole range of players putting in the tackles.
Yeah, Rimmer was very good alongside Stam, wasn't it? At the back, 4 or 7 tackles, 2 of them key, 2 key headers, 1. Foster's come into the team and got a goal, so although he's only got a 7, he's played well. And say Laurie was holding the team up in that first half, so yeah, they do perform above expectations really, and likewise Iron Curtain, they're flat to deceive sometimes. They seemed all over you in that first half particularly, and you would have been the most clinical, scoring half the shots on target.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the stats there, which of course I'd forgotten to do before. It certainly did even itself out this game, but UN Rovers managed to score their 3 goals without the need of any of their strikers performing.
Yeah, well, that's it. It shows they've got quality all over the pitch. It's, I mean, you look at the lineup, don't you, and think, oh, these are going to be the star men: Vieira, Saviola, Shellstrom, etc. But it's
Well, Shostrom can't get the
performing
first
well.
team, so he just struggled to get that start, doesn't he? Romoshenko, very, very much playing with his head rather than his feet for challenges this game. And yeah, unfortunately for Iron Curtain, who they're still as far as a squad goes, they are one of my favourite squads. This season has just not gone to plan.
There's plenty of good individual performances there, isn't there? Reflected by Carpin's goal, assist, man of the match. They're just not playing as a team at the moment. They maybe just need a bit of a shake-up and back to the drawing board in terms of formation-wise for those guys, I think, to find something that works best for them.
Or as we mentioned, back to the gulag, I think it would be for them. So this massive game here, Phoenix versus Flamingos. Look at the happiness of this squad at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised, knowing what happened in Division 2 with what was it, 3 managers dismissed after game 15, if this was the game where Flamingos had their manager sacking.
Yeah, there was a flurry of them, wasn't there, in the other division? And I mean, who knows? They might have no, they won't have a surprise. They're going to get beaten out there by Phoenix. So
Well, it was 6-1
it's
away,
just a question of how many.
and it may well have been Jarstein's last match in the team. That's my guess. It was one of his last games in the team. But what a surprise it is to find that he's in goal again today.
Yeah, well, he might have revenge on the team. It's an interesting lineup, isn't it, with those 5 across the front. We've got the late Habutzi in midfield alongside Christensen, and the 3 C's at the back there as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't hold out too much of. I think the best I can hope for is try to get a goal in this game.
It was their first goal last season, wasn't it, that they scored, I think. This was probably match 3, and I think he did that. Why is Estefania playing striker? Well, the idea for this one was to pick the players who hadn't been playing, and having a look into it, I mean, we can just switch him with Jocelyn, so he goes slightly over to the side, but he's in there because, I mean, you can't play him in midfield when you've got a midfielder right and an attacking mid in there, so he's going to play as part of that front five in there. They're certainly optimistic. Well, that must be optimistic about them having a shot or something. I'm not when you look at who they're playing against, Estefania captain the side. That's why he's playing where he wants to play. Phoenix, I mean, they have weakened, and yet this is the team they put out.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Andreasen
Yep.
play the defensive midfield role. The youngster, he's coming. I mean, he's an old head, isn't he, for Flamingos? So although he's a youngster for these, it'll be interesting to see how he turns out. But yeah, I mean, we haven't seen much of Badger, I don't think, in the league, have we? Luis
No, he's been
Enrique is
dropped to the reserves and just recalled for this game. So same with Roy Keane. Roy Keane, who's certainly
yeah,
not
he's got
Ryan's
quality as
favourite.
Badger. He's decent player. Keane, he's not played much at all, has he? Luis Enrique in attacking mid. I do like Luis Enrique, but it's probably not his version of champ, is it? This one, 97, 98 is much better. Keane is. I mean, I'm surprised if he hadn't picked up a yellow card so far. That's the
In his one
only starting
season
army
for
goes for.
Sunderland. Yeah, he's not been booked, but you look at this Roy Keane. Yeah, his aggression's a little low and his strength's a little low, but he's got 20 for tackling and passing now, so he's improving from that player that nobody really understood who he was. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Predictions
Yeah,
for
even weakening, it's still a very strong team, isn't it? And they got Radaby and Gamara at centre back there. I do like Gamara on the game and Taram at fullback as well. Should be interesting.
Roy Keane with influence 13. That's a good spot there, Wolfie, as well. So Pavel Shibitsky, who played for Leeds, was with Harbutsy the day before he died. I mean, are you
Yeah, good
connecting him
fact.
with it?
I'd read that somewhere. Yeah, I
Are you
remembered. Yeah,
linking him with it, Steve,
I think that's an accusation. Yeah, he must have given her something. Yeah.
they'll either get shots or sit around playing with themselves? It's a very interesting summary there, Mr. Savage, and the nice Roy Keane comment there from Ryan as well, suggesting he is not quite the best Roy Keane in the world. Prediction then for you? I think I just didn't even listen to what you said. If you did make a prediction,
No, I haven't made one this time. I'm going to say 6-1. I'm going to give Flamingos a goal, but it's yeah, let's go 6-1.
another 6-1. It'll be interesting to see the Vieira and Duff. No, I think that's where they utilise the. That's a bit of a difference between the
So are you saying
attributes.
it's the manager that's not so good? That's not nice. I've enjoyed Radaby FC performances.
So have I. So have I. They're actually picking up now, and they're going to pass Stackington anytime. The commentary's gone dead very slow to end that last Flamingos game. Flamingos have had all the start to this game, and we had
There's not a lot of love for Roy Keane going on at all in the stands.
oh, there we are. Batistuta, who's playing 45 minutes today, has made it 1-0. It's taken a little bit of time, and there must be a little. Stay enjoying the commentary going on so far. I think it's Barthez has gone off injury. It's a very good job that Toldo's there on the bench, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just scanning through the subs then and not coming across one for the first couple of subs. I was a little bit worried from there, but that could have made it interesting.
Yeah, I did have to look at the substitutes to check that there was a subkeeper on when I got that far down the list, putting the team together. And Roy Keane takes a yellow card. There we are. So the love for him continues. Will it be 2? It is 2, and Dennis Bergkamp scores. The two players that have scored have a combined age of 18 Flamingos players. And we're coming towards half time. Will it be 3? Batistuta. Oh, Roy Keane! Roy Keane has scored! There we go. I suppose, Steve, you're right. There isn't a thing that says you must have a goalkeeper on the pitch. Don't give people ideas, but yeah. Flamingos, 5 shots, 4 on target, 3. Flamingos. Phoenix, 5 shots, 4 on target, 3 goals.
Yeah, it's the Battle of the Birds, isn't it? This one, and Phoenix have.
Risen above.
I mean that. Yeah, risen above. Yeah, let's say that. Yeah, let's put a pun in. they're doing all right, are they? 3-0. I mean, you can tell from your resigned commentary when the second goal went in that the game was all over once it went 1-0. I mean,
Yeah,
the only thing that Flamingos can hope for really is that Toldo brings a man down early on in the second half and takes a red card because they're not going to win, are they? With 11 Phoenix men on the pitch.
no. Ryan, of course, you can choose who's coming on as your substitute. We'll have a little look at them in a minute, and also get thinking about who'll be that goalkeeper when Toldo gets sent off, I suppose. So free kick for Batistuta early on. Bartes went off injured. Then we had Bergkamp taking on the ball past Clayton successfully, then Havertz, then Campos, and then a lovely goal. And then the other goal, Roy Keane, loose ball after a Batistuta chance. I would suppose, I don't know who you're going to bring on actually. Is it going to be Larson or Shearer? And Batistuta, are you sure you're taking off Batistuta at 45? Is this just protection for him? That'd be an interesting way of.
Yeah, he's got a goal and assist so far, and he's playing well, isn't he? And, I suppose Gamera with an 8 in defence is quite surprised because I'm surprised he had that much to do, but I guess he's got 5 men hovering around him, hasn't he? So he's managed to beat them all off so far. So hopefully he can keep a clean sheet in the second half.
Shocking. Yeah. Well, Ryan's decided on his substitutes. If he is around, obviously we'll bring on a sub if not. And then looking into the performances of the Flamingos, it's about as good as it's going to get. I can't see Havertz keeping up that 7. It's going to get worse, isn't it?
Oh well, he's done all right, and he's pretty good to be fair to him. And I suppose as the season's progressed, they will have progressed in terms of ability. These guys, so even the ones who aren't been playing, they will be getting better. So in theory, Flamingos should get a little stronger as the season progresses. I'll just be a little worried for percentage wise for Christensen and Kranjčar, despite condition being a myth. Just in case they picked up an injury because you don't want them to miss a few games.
Well, there won't be any subs for Flamingos during this game if there are. There's no plans to make subs, so I'll just give it another few seconds there. Otherwise, we will be doing the Batistuta substitute and just have a look at who's been playing. Larson has 3 in 9 league games, and Shearer has no league. I mean, would you be choosing to try and give Shearer a boost, or would you be bringing Larson on as a goal scorer?
I don't think giving him chocolate's going to help, but yeah, I'd bring Shearer on. See how he gets on. Yeah, why not? He played well in the cup, didn't he?
Yeah, we'll prepare this substitute and then give it a 10-second thing in here. I think this is what we're going to do. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. As soon as we click it, we'll be gone. We'll be like, bring on the other guy. There we are.
And we can always get to 60, can't we, if need to?
Yeah, so that sub has been made anyway. Shearer is on. I mean, less is more. It's the usual substitute choice there, isn't it? And there's a goal, Roy Keane. Makes it 4-0. We didn't see that.
Keane is very good, isn't he? I know a lot of the people in the chat have been saying how good he is. He's playing excellently so far.
Yeah, he certainly is playing well. So, a quick look at that. They've made 2 subs now. I would certainly not be looking at making a third for them. They've got Baggio's looking a bit tired. Torricelli's looking a bit tired. And that's where we stand on things there. I think they probably need to.
In this situation, I probably would make a third. I know we've got the manager potentially present, but I mean, what's the worst that could happen? The keeper will get sent off. No, there's no keeper on the bench.
True. And for 10 men, there he has lost his 7, but Jarstein has somehow gained it. They would have taken Christensen off at this point, but there's no call for it. So, I mean, we'll just stick with Ryan's less is more. We will take a look at when the next game is. It's in 3 days, actually. You're probably right to say let's do that other substitute. Torricelli's. Ryan's just sent me a DM. Let's have a little look at that.
I hope it's not a picture message.
Let's see what he's done.
It's not a full frontal of Mike Savage, is it?
Quinton's audio is a lot louder than. I think I'm just talking quietly. Let's just see if we can just turn mine up. But thank you very much for that. I'll just turn my mic up a little bit.
It's my passion for the game, isn't it? That's what it is.
There we are. So I've just gone nice and public with that one anyway. It's fine by me. It's nice to get the advice, to be honest. There we are. That's all good. No more subs unless injury. There we go. With 3
You've
days
got
to
a
go to.
private message from Mike Savage as well, I think.
Into the last part of the game. Half an hour to go. Tell me, Ryan, if that's any better at the moment. I'm trying not to talk too loud in the house at the moment, but I don't want to be too quiet on the stream. Can you hear me now? With just 15 minutes to go, Roy Keane chasing a hat-trick. He's on an absolute legendary match here, isn't he? On his
That's
10.
not something we thought we'd hear before the kickoff.
It is 4-0. Into the last few minutes, a chance for Flamengo. Oh, nothing can happen for them. Testing times. And 4-0 it is. Roy Keane, man of the match. It was such a close game in the end. I don't know how Flamingos didn't come away with points from that one.
Well, you did question Hambutz in his ability to keep a 7. He's done it by the game end. He's gone back up to a 7. So, I mean, there are some positives out there. We had a couple of decent performances with Yarstein. I think got a 7 in goal as well. They've had 4 shots, 2 on target against a good team in the league. So, I mean, not far off Phoenix, but Phoenix were coasting, weren't they? So, I think fair reflection of the result. 4-0. Flamingos never troubled them, but. The big question is Roy Keane going to get into that attacking midfield role next game?
Yeah, I think they'll be coasting next game because they're playing East Coast. I think that's what you meant, wasn't it? Just take a little look at the Roy Keane goal. So yeah, we saw that one. The Roy Keane second goal. It was a swerving shot from Roy Keane as he took Campos on, and Kagura, he managed to get the shot in before Kagura came to him. A lovely goal from Roy Keane. And the Phoenix stats show that they barely had to put any tackles in, and Keane was dominant.
Yeah, they've done all right there. I mean, the only one not covering himself in glory is Shearer off the bench, isn't it? Obviously, the young lad played the full game as well and didn't really do an awful lot. But yeah, they did what they had to do. Won 4-0. Some decent individual performances. Roy Keane's going to lift his spirits with them 2 goals. And solid, fun, spectacular. Is an absolute fair reflection there from the manager.
Yes, 4-0 is good enough, isn't it? You know, you just need to win the games. The goal difference might come in handy at the end of the season. But, 3 points clear as it stands. And yeah, the Flamingos... I mean... It really would be nice if they tried. That's what I'm going to say about their season.
I'm quite happy with this lineup. I think. Who's the next game against?
Is it
I
you?
think it'll be interesting to see. It might be. I know I've got them soon. So
yeah, it's your team. Yeah.
Yeah, I think stay like this for one more, and then after that, just go to a solid 4-1-3-2 or something like that. But maybe just put in maybe try strikers up front, strikers in goal.
Yeah,
strikers in midfield, defence.
Anyone in the wrong positions. It's Imagine Madrid away to Falaraki. Last time these two teams met, Falaraki edged it, and it was a late second half comeback there. A Robin, so there must have been another Robin with him with the 2 squads somewhere, and Roger Hargreaves with the goals. So he popped up as Mr. Victorious at the end of that game. For this game, Imagine Madrid change setup and go for the 4-1-3-2, which is rare to see that for them. They've played wing backs for a while.
It's also rare to see they've got an unhappy Nicholas Anelka in the squad.
Yes.
So
is
they've
this
got
the one where he's worried that his team's reputation is harming his chances of whatever it is? Yeah, worried that the club's poor league position will affect his reputation.
Oh, don't worry, he's still retained the same reputation as Sulker, hasn't he? So he's kept that up.
So Mendieta at right back. The team was actually submitted with only 10 men, but I assumed that the left back was actually Cole, seeing as he's played every single match this season. Andrew Richards, he has a Robin on his team as well. That's very jolly good there. Lovely stuff. So Saha is looking like he's a bit unfit, but that's obviously a myth, of course, at this point. And for the Falaraki side, they have gone into it with... I haven't picked the team, which is perfect actually, because Quinton says that his thing is struggling a little bit, so I'll just sort this out. I haven't. He's picked a team and he sent me his lineup, and I just haven't bothered to put it in. So let's go into this side today. We can see it's the formation change sees them going for that in there with Gerard there, dropping back Soroczynski. So 3 at the back, 3 across the next bit, 3 there and 1 up front with those arrows. And we'll now pick the team, because that was a complete bit of carnage from me there. I've been talking about it. Champino had been telling me how the save's working but not working, and he managed to get it on the world's slowest computer. So here we go. What have we got? We've got Frey, Woodgate, Terry. Let's just do it all from the off. Frey, Woodgate, Terry, Benera. Then we've got Cole and Hargreaves. This is a jolly joy of doing things here. Another Saviola. It is another Saviola. We'll see if he's playing today. Gerard. Then Robin and Collins and Ronaldinho. And yes, Saviola plays. And on the bench we've got Sigalko, Keane, Eto, Van der Vaart, Delaney, Maicon, and Costanzo on the bench today, coming in there. And I believe that Casillas back onto the reserves after we play that cup game. Costanzo can come back up. Yeah, the jolly joys of not picking a team myself. There we go. So look into that. Just checking it all matches up. Captain is Mr. Full Kit Man himself, John Terry. Okay, all team tactics will be the same as it stands, so we're all good to go. Eventually, and Quinton will be back shortly onto this, but we'll get kicking off anyway. And from George's Bar, much going on at this point. It is still 1-0 for... It skipped then. I didn't see it happening myself. Luis Saha has scored the opening goal for Imaginary Madrid. Is it going to be the start of a beautiful season comeback? Looking into it with a yellow card now for John Terry of Imaginary Madrid. And they're still holding on here 20 something minutes in. It's been rare that they've led matches. They've only won 2, I think it is, this season. Is it 1? Half an hour into the match, still looking pretty good. I mean, chances for Falaraki coming back into it. They've hit the post, Imaginary Madrid. And another chance for Falaraki to come forward. They're really trying to come back into this one. It's nearly half time. Oh, I think that was Ivan Campo involved in the attack. And we're now at the whistle. 1-0 at half time. And I don't think either manager's on here, so let's have a little look and see what's going on. Stat wise, Falaraki, yeah, it did look like every time they were coming forward there was a chance, and they've done a good job with it. But as it stands, 1-0 down to these. And just have a quick look at the substitution instructions for these. There we go. And action areas suggest that, yeah, it's really even. Falaraki doing more with the ball, but not getting the ball into the net. The first action of the game, Saha scored an excellent strike. No wonder it skipped. Nothing happened until that goal. And then looking at the Falaraki stats there, Benera is having a decent first half. John Terry as well. David Collins, but they are 1-0 down still, and that is a real struggle for them at the moment. It is really different commentating as just a one at this point. If you've got things to sound like a co-commentator in the chat, please go ahead. Quinton's not back just yet. And for Imaginary Madrid, Saha got his goal with his only shot of the game so far. Czech's been doing a pretty decent job, and they've not had to put in many tackles. to say that the other team's been doing more coming forward. I suppose they've not put the tackles in, not even attempted the tackles, so the shots seem a bit freer for Falaraki at this point. So we'll be going to 60 minutes, and will there be any changes to how we go? I'm not sure. Imagine we did, of course, don't make substitutes unless they need them. Second half is underway, but I wish we'd have told the players that that was the case. It's an equaliser there, it's Ronaldinho, just before our hour mark. And they are enforced with a substitute here. Joe Cole will come off, and the only central midfielder that they've got available is Frank Lampard, so he will come in at this point into the middle of midfield. So it's a perfect chance to make the substitutes now for Falaraki as well. So Ronaldinho scored. We'll take a look into how they're doing. So if Saviola hasn't scored for 60 minutes, take him off and bring on Sigalko. Sebastian Frey looking a little unsettled. Is he actually? He's looking settled. Look, he seems performing well. We'll have a look at his rating. I haven't seen what his rating is so far, to be honest. And if losing, sub the two worst attacking mids at this point. Well, Ronaldinho scored, and the other two, Collins and Robin, are both on 7s, so they will come off, and we will be seeing, as it looks like to me, it would be Keane and Eto'o, because they tend to be used a little bit more. So Keane is... Oh, they're not losing. Well spotted, Quinton, as well. He's managed to respond to me in the chat. They're not losing, of course. So just have a look at what it actually is. It's the one worst one. Thank you very much for pointing that out to me in your message, even though you're not quite on the Zoom yet. I'll just have a look again. Robin versus Collins. They're both exactly the same. I'll take a look into the stats and see how they're getting on. This has been certainly the longest game of the day, and it's all my fault for not actually checking stuff properly. Collins key pass. Collins has been in more tackle wise. It'll be Robin coming off. Robin off, and it will be Robbie Keane on, and we'll just switch Ronaldinho to the other side. There we go. Imagine we did no subs. They've made one, of course, already with the injury to Joe Cole. It's 1-1 still at this point. I wish we'd kind of have some more shots. Sigalko with a chance, it hasn't gone in this time. And another one, there he is. He's come in and scored a decent impact as a substitute for this game. He hasn't been doing the job quite so well this season for Falaraki, and there he is. And David Collins makes it 3-1. And Robbie Keane 4-1. It's a real change. The substitutes have worked an absolute dream for them. And Quinton is coming back into the show right at the end of the match to give us his feedback on this, which has really turned around 4-1 going into the injury time. And I don't know whether it was so much the substitutes for Falaraki or Joe Cole exiting and Frank Lampard getting the the run out for the last part of the game. 4-1 it was. Quinton, obviously you've been keeping in touch with the game as it was there. 4-1, fair reflection?
Yeah, I think he was in the second half. Just apologies to everyone there for my disappearance. I get the black screen of death on Zoom after a while, so unfortunately it's happened at this point. But yeah, I think it was a fair reflection that second half. Falaraki were excellent, particularly after the subs. That first goal, it looked to be a mistake by Sebastian Frey from the commentary that I saw on it, although there's nothing in the match report. He said Frey was nowhere near it. I think he'd made an error leading to the goal. But yeah, second half performance was excellent. Imagine Madrid probably deserved to go in front at half time.
Yes, and then the second half turned up, and we had Gerard to Ronaldinho, who beat Czech. Then Joe Cole went off injured, and it turned the game, didn't it? So Sigalko with plenty of chances. He had a shot, and Czech saved it, and he popped in the rebound. Then Woodgate with a shot that Czech's parried away, and Collins has scored. Czech cannot hold the ball, can he? And then a header in from an Ashley Cole ball in to Collins, who knocks it down for Keane, and Keane finishes off. That was a great second half performance for Falaraki.
Yeah, they came into it, didn't they? I mean, look at it, the subs that were made there. I mean, it's an excellent substitution for a team if drawing to have that rather than if losing requesting. But yeah, again, individually, Bonera with a 9, Gerrard with a 9, Ronaldinho, Collins likewise. So they deserve to win, don't they? But I say, Madrid did start off fairly well. It's just, I suppose, use of the substitutes and having the fresher players on the pitch has made the difference.
Joe Cole 44%, probably a 44% groin injured Joe Cole might be better than the Frank Lampard performance that happened in his stead in the second half. It'd be interesting with Champinio watching this back, as I know he does watch the shows back if he hasn't been on the live performance. For him to go, you haven't picked my team. That's what we were saying first of all. You haven't picked my team, and they'd be like, come on, get on with picking my team. And then the next thing I'll be saying is, but I'm not losing, I'm drawing. And there to come up with the result, at least by the end of it, he's some relief. And Sebastian Frey holding on to that. So yeah, apologies to Champinio for keeping your heart moving a little bit faster than it should have done. But back to George's Bar, of course, after the game, and enjoy yourself with your victory there. Imagine Madrid, you're so close to getting something out of it until Lampard happened. So yeah, you've got 2 matches left, I think, and the first one sees Trafford versus Wolfie. And Dadji's side today, I remember last time these two teams met, it was a 4-1 victory for Trafford. 4 different scorers, but Wolves at one point made it look like a bit more of a match at 2-1. Today, I mean, yeah, it's not really a weakened lineup in any sense, is it, at all, from the Dajster?
No, I know the manager likes to play it down. He'll probably tell you Wolves are favourites for it. But yeah, I mean, there's quality all over there, isn't it? And again, the players left out, even if the full match day squad would walk the way into a lot of teams in the league. But yeah, I quite fancy Wolves today. It goes against the form book, doesn't it? But they do a big performance, and let's hope they can get it just to tighten up the league a little bit.
The news there for Trafford, of course, Vieira suspended, so they played 2 defensive mids last game, I think, and this time round with Vieira suspended, Emerson is in. Prediction there of Tato 3-0 to the Wolves, which would be...
It's interesting that, because every other prediction's been 0-0, hasn't it? So it's there's a big confidence in Wolves, and then hopefully next game Tato's predictions are going to come maybe not so true as well.
See if they can do it without the ball during this match, maybe. So the Wanderers of Wolverhampton select a change of system, which, I don't know, it's got some defensive strength to it, and then Darren Anderson will play a good 5 minutes doing that run at some point during this match.
Yeah, it's I like it. I like we've had. It's nice to see all the formations that come through, not only the Division 1 but the Division 2 as well. It's interesting to see how people play and how the team reacts, because I don't think I've ever played anything like this one. But like you say, it's 2 defensive mids, Scally and Hunt, have plenty of stability in there, and Walker bombing forward from midfield to support Robin, Yavin and Signot will make an interesting forward partnership.
So Tato says he's a big fan of that formation, but Darren Anderson...
Not fan of Viv Anderson, is he?
I think it's Anderson, the Man United player. It was Darren Anderson. I mean, this season, if we have a look at what he's done, he's probably been average, but he's done that 4 starts and 1 sub appearance. I think that equates to about 19 minutes of football.
Yeah, but look, 4 assists in total, 3 of them in the league. I'm going to back him for a big performance tonight. And then to go off injured. I mean, if he does go off injured, the natural replacement Fortes, isn't it? But
Fortes,
I mean, some might argue Huckabee in a wide position, but I'd go with Fortes as well.
It is Fortes' natural position. I believe he is slowing down a little bit at the moment, the 64-year-old. Yeah, Fortesh will take his place. Fantastic.
Oh, that's excellent management. He's really doing what the people want, isn't he?
This reminds me of either some kind of snooker setup with some, the D and the reds all triangled up, or a corner at a racing track, that sort of line to go around there. Um,
I suppose it's better than the butt plug, isn't it?
yes, it would be a better name than one of your. Was it your formation that was likened to that?
No, it was the Wolves.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah, Wolves. Trafford put in their white and gold, their Real Madrid kit for this game. So yeah, I haven't asked for your prediction, so I'll give it quick.
Wolves to win, 2-1.
Wolves to win 2-1, and at the moment it is 0-0. So Trafford not with the ball very much at this point. It must be said. They're doing a lot of it without, and Wolves really trying to get chances here. It's really hard to sort of predict which way this game's going at all. More chance for Sigalko. Loose ball. Pellizzoli managed to recover. And he's having a good start to the game, Pellizzoli.
It's end to end, isn't it, so far?
Yeah, without real chances, I guess. I mean, we're going to be seeing like they've had 30 or something in the first half, but Yavin's just come close to scoring there. Didn't quite pull it off. And we're seeing more Trafford at this point. They're getting a hold of it a bit more. Moving the players around exactly where he wants them. And there it is. Sigalko 1-0. He's made it 1 just before half time. Can they come back into it? Nearly. Three yellow cards. That is 2-0 though, Sigalko. So it looks much more ominous at this point. It's 3 cards, 2 goals, and Pellizzoli dropping from the 9 to a 7 pretty quickly.
Yeah, but Lescott's still a 9, isn't he, at centre back? And I suppose the big news is Darren Anderton's still on the pitch at 45 minutes, and I don't know if he's looking healthy, but he's still on there. Those stats are quite surprising, really. I mean, Trafford have been
Yeah,
clinical in front of goal, haven't they, with the 2 goals and 7 out of 8 on target. But Wolves did seem to be doing a bit more. They're just maybe not creating clear-cut chances like Trafford have been.
I think, yeah, there's 7. I didn't realise they had quite so many chances. It was real, a bit of a shock to see that many. But from that reflection, yes, they do deserve to be in front, don't they? And Wolves had more of the ball. Take a quick look at this. We know that Anderton is going to be coming off for Fortesh, who.
It's a big call for the manager, that, isn't he? I mean, he's seen it straight away and thought, yeah, we need to change this, get Fortes on, and I think that might change the fortunes in the second half.
So Condola into Tomadera, but it didn't work out, and Sigalko just took hold of it and smacked it in for 10th goal of the season. Quickly got his 11th, with Zidane playing it in and Sigalko with the header. So he's catching up with Yavin. Are they all league goals? Yep, it's 11 league goals. Yavin is on 13 at this point. So we're getting the 1 sub from the Duran. He's hungry like the wolf area. Fortesh coming on for Anderton. Lovely. And for Trafford, their substitutes. We always get the old dodgy formation setups. Here we go. Half time, 85 or lower. And
Sigalko's off, isn't he?
He's coming off without the hat trick. Well, it's Shevchenko, so that's pretty straightforward. And anyone.
Yeah, it doesn't really weaken it so much, that, does it?
No, anyone on a 5 or lower there. So I think, yep, half time sorted out. Player ratings. There we go. So the kick off to Wolves, which so far comes to nothing. And Trafford certainly continuing this domination that they've been having in the recent part of the match. It's chance after chance. At this point, Kivu takes a yellow card. A chance for Yavin. Oh, he's nearly scored there. Nearly pulls one back, but it's very comfortable so far. Wolfie, are you going to make any changes? You've got plenty of 6s and things like that. No, you're not keen on subs, but the options are there for you. No one's really standing out as being a definite candidate for a substitute, but you can look at that while I sort the Trafford ones out. So
But
they,
maybe go to a diamond in midfield, bring an attacking mid on for a defensive mid at Wolves potentially. Need the
yes,
goals, don't they?
they would be forever, wouldn't they? Those formations. So if they are change rating of 6 or lower, it'll only be one sub at this point. 6 or lower, and 85% or lower. Well, there's an 85, but the
Zidane,
6 or
85, isn't he? Yeah.
yeah, but he's on a card. And he's on that, but the instruction 6 or lower comes first. There isn't one. 85 or lower, it is Zidane. And that would be in this position at this point. So we'll have a look at the attacking mids and see what they're doing. So Riquelme has made 7 league appearances, Ferguson 10, and Aymar 1. So that's Ferguson, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, most consistent player.
And
Yeah.
then just switch Veron with Ferguson there. There we go.
Make them suffer, says the Wolf, and I don't know if he means Trafford or his own team.
Make them suffer with Fortesh coming on to do the job. He is on a 6 so far. He's made 3/4 of his passes, so he's looking pretty good. Pellizzoli's recovered to an 8. We've got half an hour left. Gavin is coming with chances, isn't he, at the moment? He's not. I would say he's coming closer, but he hit the target on a previous one, not on that one. Just 10
Yeah, it's
minutes to
gone
go.
quiet.
It is a better result this time round than last time, of course. As it stands, it shows improvement in the team. But, there's Tomadera for 3-0. And a red card for Cafu. Which, of course, we must see somebody dropping in there. So if we just put that there and drop Beckham to right back for the injury time. Ferguson has almost scored as well. 3-0. And, dominant for Trafford. Centre backs, well, actually 3 of the back 4 have done a really good job for Wolves and kept that score down, because that could have been any sort of scoreline otherwise.
Yeah, there's plenty of shots for Trafford. Isn't there? If anyone's got Sigalko and Tomadera in the squad, even in the starting lineup, then they're going to be somewhere near the top of the league, aren't they, with those two and the goal scoring. Some decent individual performances from both teams. I suppose the concern really is Cafu's lack of discipline, because that's not the first time he's been sent off this season, but not for Trafford. I think got sent off for Hulls, didn't he, in a recent game. Or maybe went off injured. I might be being harsh there, but not so good discipline to get sent off when your team's 3-0 up away in the last minute.
Yeah, it's not the most disciplined either to go off injured, if that's what he did for the other team either. He should be keeping himself fitter at that point. So Pellizzoli made a good save from an Njai chance, and Tomadera popped in the rebound, and it's a push on Sriracha. So definitely a problem there for Cafu, a discipline problem. You're absolutely right. For Wolves, they've put in plenty of tackles. All the defence have done a decent job, and Sriracha obviously goading Cafu into getting sent off.
Yeah, they just want a lot going forward, wasn't there, today? And we've seen Yavin hit the target plenty more times before. Only 2 of his 4 on target tonight. Not so good. Maybe just needs people to support him a little bit more up front. But not a bad performance, like you said. The defence was played well. Trafford just have the players with a higher ability, and that's what shows at the end of it, don't they? So on the ball and off the ball, they're the better team.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. Keeping up with the leaders at the moment. It's looking good for them. I didn't see Mike Savage's prediction before this game of 1-1. It was a thrilling game, even though it wasn't a thrilling draw there as well. Let's have a look. But Sigalko putting in a better performance than he has been doing for some teams this season, and Cafu, for this team, has had 2 yellows and now a red card. So we have our final match, and it has been left till last, which is interesting. The game wanted this to be last. It kept Tato awake way past his bedtime. But unlucky Toto Wolff in the previous match. So Fortuna, last time round that they met the Badgers, it was 2-0 to Badgers, and Tato is not thinking the same today, is he? When we've been speaking pre-match.
No, he was thinking 1-0, wasn't he? That was his prediction. And just saying it couldn't be the formation, but I've had a change in my lineup today, and it'll be
And here it
interesting to see if
is.
the Badgers have changed lineup as well. So
So
yeah, it's something quite different. We've not been in the best of form recently, so I've changed it from the butt plug or the champagne flute, whatever you like to describe it. And I mean, Ted's 6-1 for Tuna will be interesting. I'd love a 6-1 victory, but I'll be hard pushed to score six now for season, never mind in the full game. So some different players in today. Castillo's playing from the start. Estevez is wide right, which isn't usual. Dieter Alts is playing in defensive mid because he's played fairly well recently. Badgers are getting a lot of love, not so much love for Fortuna and the ones there, but Carlos Jacques into attacking mid, Nicky Franco up front. Just a complete change of some people.
a jacking midfield, yeah, definitely going for it. Not a backing midfield because it's a bonking midfield, of course. Yeah, so the Badger arrow there at the back there. I mean,
Oh, that what they call a Badger.
if you take that arrow away, that is the Stackington lineup, isn't it? Well, not lineup, but the Stackington formation, and again without arrows, Dublin Blues as well of Division Two. So we've seen this formation a few times. Estevez playing out there on the right hand side. I don't know personally. I think I'd be going for Jacques to be out wide and Estevez in here. But you know, it's your team. You go ahead, do what you want.
Yeah, I've had to play around with it. I mean, Estevez hasn't been brilliant this season, and Jack's not done his best either. But I just think Jack's has a little bit more pace to get in behind, and I might change it around later on if people aren't playing well. But yeah, he's been pretty crap so far this season compared to what he can do. Saeed's been terrible in defensive mid, which is why he's gone to centre back and running forward. But none of them are like Nicky Franco, Bonk. They're not playing well. So I've had to change it up, and hopefully
Mm.
Dieter Alts can lead him a little bit from defensive mid. Jurgen Kohler's probably the only one other than David Day who's keeping their head above water.
Kohler 7.31 and Day 7.71 in the league. Yes, he's doing a good job, isn't he? So I'll take a look at the Fortuna team. Yeah, Nicky Franco, the big threat. Will this be his comeback game there, Mike Savage? Yeah, one goal. Is his first time actually up front for you?
He might have played one briefly before, but I think I moved him mid-match. He's not played a full 90 minutes, and if he can get a full 90 minutes here today, we'll see. But he's probably going to throw his teddy out and get another red card.
And you're up against this team, which I suppose bears some similarities in some positions. And I mean, if you just move Clausen in there and Duff further forwards, then you've got the same setups. But you know, it's like saying if you just rearrange all the players, they'll play in the same positions as each other. So just talking nonsense, really. But yeah, I do like the imbalance. Some people hate it. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, I mean the playing players in decent positions, aren't they? It's yeah, I like what he's done, going for something a little bit different. It certainly is a beauty. I mean, hopefully it doesn't work for him today, just as manager of Fortuna. But if I wasn't playing against him, then I'd be wishing all the best to the Badgers. And look, we've both had a bit of a change in formation and personnel, so let's just hope for an entertaining game. And if we can go out with a bang, then that'll be good.
Yeah, and I just did probably one of the campiest laughs in the world. Then it was a mix between a laugh and a yawn at the same time. It's yeah,
Are you going for a bit of ASMR?
yeah. I'm not into all that. No, actually, uh, didn't win in testing at all. But this one made the matches have the most goals. So yeah, I mean, I guess if this was a free formation reign, you could move Finnan and Duff into that sort of defensive midfield position, but it's nice to have that change, that imbalance, and it's going to be an interesting one. You probably don't want to make a prediction on your own game, but I'm going to force you to.
I've been wrong with all my predictions so far, so I'm going to go for Badgers 8-0.
So 8-0 to Badgers versus 6-1 to Fortuna, the two managers predicting heavy
I
defensive
just want some
priority.
entertainment. That's all I want.
The special database on Mr. Horse's machine. I mean, this is just a very strange database. But yeah, Tato, you have been testing and using the save, haven't you? Although the save that you can't get to load properly at the moment. Some people are having trouble with that save, as we said. At the end of this, we just have a quick scan through the squads to see if, based on next match. It'll just be a quick run through. Anyway, so Tora Holland refereeing, and I'm looking forward to this one as well. Let's get it going. Come on, players, do something.
It's not living up to the build-up, is it?
Oh, there has been a chance there. Oh, Steve Finnan's come close to scoring. It was almost there, and Fortuna holding on at this point. They tried to come forward a bit. Yellow card for Clausen. And then Nikiforenko Luntz. Oh, two chances there coming close as well. We are getting there with some chances in this match now. And it's down the other end. Walker getting heavily involved. And then a bit of a lull now. Luntz. Oh, Kenny Lunt again coming close to scoring. He's looking very, very lively this season. Probably the one player you didn't build up before this game from your own team. It should have been. And then for this just before half time, we are 50 minutes in, and it's now half time. There we are.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
a bit of an anticlimax so far. I mean, it's been quite entertaining for a 0-0, but still not brilliant, is it? I mean, a little worried about that yellow card. I might take an Athalakis off depending on his condition.
well,
But yeah, I mean,
I didn't quite see it being quite so shot-filled.
no, they didn't do what I mean. There wasn't an awful lot at all, was there, for the first 15 minutes or so? But it did have a bit more action as the half progressed. But say fairly entertaining for a 0-0. But it's not what the fans are demanding, is it? You don't stay up till this hour to watch a game like this. You need goals really, so there does need to be some changes made.
So we'll take a look at Tato's side first in case he's on for any changes. At this point, Justin Lee Collins is on a 6 and he's at 86%, which of course might as well be 1,000% for Mr. Myth to make the decision there. Dave Barnett's had a very, very strong first half with his 2 passes out of 4 and his 2 tackles out of 2. He's made 4 attempted passes in a half. That is skill. Clausen's off for Wellens and Duff off for Huckabee. And Huckabee is going to be playing at right back, I assume, at this as it stands. So Clausen off for Wellens and Duff off for Huckabee. There we are, sticking with him at that position. Obviously, we'll dissect the Fortuna side to just check that's all alright with you. Yes, some of it, I mean, the passing has been pretty low on there, but they're still in this game by, obviously, being, as it is, Jurgen Kohler doing exactly what Tato thought and being dominant in defence.
Yeah, I mean, he's won as many tackles as he has completed passes, hasn't he, in defence there? And that's like he's on alongside him, not being quite so good, so he's going to get withdrawn for Amanatidis. But other than that, yeah, everyone's on their 7, so no one's really doing an awful lot at all. So we do need to see more in the first 15 minutes of the second half. Other than that, we'll maybe look at potentially even I might make the other 2 subs.
Oh, going for it all. So subbing David Day and bringing on Tyler Martin as one of those changes. Here we are, second half. Please give us a goal. I could press restart, actually, that would help. And it's kicked off just like it did in the first half. Oh, we're enjoying this one. Will there be a goal at some point? Substitutes arrive before we get any chances. There's Jurgen Kohler's 9. 6 is for Jacques and IELTS.
Yeah, not so good, is it, from
Okay,
those
I'll just
guys?
go quickly over to Badgers while we think, because that would make more sense, wouldn't it? So
Yeah,
Badgers with Collins on a 5 as it stands as well, and 6 is for Walker and Finnan, just in case you want to see those, which you don't. I'm going to keep just playing on that, obviously, all season, all Swemp time. Tato, I don't know. What would you do in this situation? Manninger.
I'd swap Priest and Yavin. I think if I were Tato at this point, just to
Just
try and get
switch
some
them.
goals.
Just switch them,
Yeah.
yeah. There would be goals in the game.
Or put Priest up alongside him. I think would be an excellent manoeuvre.
Yeah. The priest. Here we are. Will there be another change? Because it made much more sense to go to Tato here first of all. What I'll do is I'll go back to doing what your changes were while we wait for this one. So what were you going to do?
Yeah, we're going to take Ilts off and we're going to bring on. I don't know who's going to play in defensive mid. Let's bring Eric Rabasandratana and why not? And we'll keep him there. We'll leave Said where he is. And Carlos Jacques can come off as well. Let's go mad. And let's bring on David Collins in that position. We'll keep things as they are in the rest of the positions. And
There we are.
Tato's gone for a change too.
For Jimmy coming off for Mr. Prime Minister. There, so Somerville off for Cameron, and if you do want them switching over, I'll obviously do that as soon as you say. But otherwise, that's what we got there. So Yavin, Cameron, Collins on attacking mid for both teams. Kablamo! Right, we're on with the game for the last few minutes. Surely there must be a goal. There's been another card for Said. Bonk with a free kick, couldn't put it in. 25 minutes to go. This is a game they all wanted it to be last today. David Collins hitting the side netting. I'm going to try and make it sound more exciting, maybe like a horse race or something. Collins with a chance. And 15 minutes left in this match, and we're not getting very much from it. Nikiforenko got 10 minutes to go. David Collins missing this time for Fortuna. And with just that injury time approaching, it's still 0-0. David Collins, he's come close. This time it's going to be 0-0, is it? One last chance to give for a goal saved, and of course it is Rabasandratana. It's 1-0 in the 90,000th minute, and Jurgen Kohler didn't get a 9, he got a 10. Wow. 900 minutes. Let's take a look at injury time in this game. That just went and went and went, didn't it? So, during injury time, we had a shot from Nikiforenko, which Priest dealt with it. Rabasandratana had a chance, and Priest got it off. And this time, Lunt's corner, Rabasandratana did get on the end and scored. Well, that was a harsh end to the game for Badgers. But of course, Fortuna get the win. Jurgen Kohler, absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, excellent performance. I mean, 15 tackles out of 16 is quite the performance, isn't it? It was a rubbish game, to be fair, wasn't it? And 1-0 either way at the last minute. Neither side deserved to win. To be fair, even when I stuck Rabasandratana in defensive mid, I didn't expect him to do anything good at all. So to see him up there with a couple of chances in the last minute was, I'm speechless from Eric Rabasandratana perspective. But yeah, not a brilliant performance. Formation didn't work brilliantly. Lunt got his customary assist. Nikiforenko did all right, and Kohler turned in a world-beating performance. So he should hopefully be in Team of the Week.
Kenny Lunt almost up to an 8 as an average rating if you include these cup games. So you could say that rubbish entertainment ended with Rabasandratana in the last seconds of that game, turning it into something better. I can see you shaking your head. Good. David Priest was very good during that game, and it is a shame for him to have let that one in at the end. Other than that, the Badgers team, Scally did what he could, but ended up on a 6. Tato, bin them all off. We know the end of the season will be there'll be quite a change for your team, I imagine. Whatever happens into this, I would like to see your team name being kept, but obviously you're the boss. It is a good team name. Stat wise, at the end there, 10 shots to 8, 6 to 3. The teams, Badgers didn't get a shot on target in the second half.
Yeah, we look all right from the stats, don't we? 10 shots, 8 on target makes us look like an entertaining team, but it's not proved that way. We could see from the way the game played out. Really, it's it was poor from both teams really. Priest did well in goals, getting some love there from Mike with a 9. Day got an 8 for my team, Kohler with a 10. So it just shows I've had some defensive work to do. No one's really covered himself in glory, have they?
No, Nikiforenko actually doing okay up front. Didn't get a goal, but a good performance from him. So, looking at the results today, we had, well, at the top of the list, we got home wins. Then we got a draw, another home win, 2 away wins at the end of the list there. Biggest victory of the day in terms of performance, I think it's got to go down to being, I don't know, Falaraki's win over Imagine Madrid was a great win for them.
Yeah, very good turnaround, wasn't it? And they needed that really to keep in touch with or keep up pace with those around. But I suppose big win in terms of significance has to be Phoenix, isn't there? They weren't at the best. They did what they had to do, but it's put them at the top of the table. So yeah, there's 3-point gap now to third and fourth. Trafford had a comfortable victory, but I said that the quality difference of the teams they were playing as well, Phoenix and Trafford, was easy. So Hulls and East Coast, a draw is a decent result really for both of those teams because it keeps them both in touch.
Yes, I mean I don't know. I mean I just say Falaraki's win was big, but you and Rovers beating the Iron Curtain to go up as high as 7th place is massive.
Yeah, you would have said they've been really good and they're just clinical. That's what makes a difference. And say it's coming from the whole of the squad, not just the people with the best ability. So Turtle's saying relegation looms for the Badgers, but I don't think it's that bad yet. I mean, there's an 8-point gap from my Fortuna team in 11th to 12th place races. So you'd think the top 11 have enough about them to stay up there in the league, but there's some big teams to play for all those, and if racers put a bit of form together, they could overtake one or two of them.
What is noticeable today is with 11 games to go, Flamingos officially cannot win the league. It's the first team in either division who now cannot win the league. Yeah, there we are. Tato thinks that bottom 3 for form for the Badgers, it could be the case. Just surviving there with, well, yeah, we've got 5 defeats, a draw, yeah, level in positions with Wolfie.
Yeah, four defeats on the trot isn't the best, is it? But
Ewan, 4 wins and a draw from the last 5 games.
yeah, they're the real surprise package. You see, they've done excellently, Ewan, and again, it's kudos to those with the concept teams because who would have thought that they'd put such a run together?
Indeed, it's been great to see some sides like that, and there's been Team of the Week was done the other day, wasn't it, with the ridiculous there's Minarelli in there.
It is the position, isn't it? With those, they're the only left forward and right forward, so they'll get in the lineup.
Surely they're not classed as left forward and right forward in those positions. That is
they're the furthest wide, aren't they? So they'll be the best player they've got there.
We'll take a look at
hopefully
the
Jürgen Kohler will be in if they do that again this
you'd
time.
Imagine so from a Wednesday, but Wednesdays don't seem to happen, do they? So the next game's just three league date. Well, 3 days before this round. It's on Friday night, of course, and it's 3 days for the players to recover fitness with some big matches. We've got East Coast Phoenix. If Phoenix get another win there, that puts a huge gap in there. The biggest gap between those two teams all season, I imagine. And Trafford versus Fallaraki. Can Fallaraki do what would be the unthinkable and get themselves close to Trafford? I don't know. And Badgers versus Ewan. That will be a big match there indeed. In fact, this thing's to play for all over the table. I mean,
chance for Badgers to overtake Ewan again, and Iron Curtain Wolves 10th and 9th. That's a close one. Madrid Racers, 13th, 12th. Relegation battle. I mean, I think the teams above, my team and the ones closest will be hoping for Imagine Madrid to pick up a victory, that just to bring them two closer together and make another gap.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. These could go either way, but East Coast Phoenix is the big one, isn't it?
Tato saying that he will retire from 0102 if they lose their next game. No, you can't do that to us. You can't do that. I am going to make sure I press save at this point, but also that we're going to skip through to the next matches and just take a look at fitness. I skipped through, looked through the Champions League bits there, didn't I? Forgot to look through.
76 has got a 0-0 draw, so they're through 4-0 on aggregate, if that
Comfortably.
helps.
Man of the match, manager of the month is Phoenix, Jim Royal. There we are, Ryan, well done with that. Jimmy Walker, the player of the month. Not as someone had in their league at Des Firewasso winning player of the month, which was bizarre. So, skipping through this, Delaney, what was Delaney set for a rash challenge? We're not going to appeal that one.
2-footed, yeah.
John Terry, Bartes out for a week. Phoenix hadn't won in 14 matches. Yes, that was Flamingos who hadn't won in 14 matches at that point. Joe Call out for a month. We got a supporter protest at Imagine Madrid. I think we could have a few managers going before the next match. Have to restart those. Fortuna hadn't won in 3 games. That's probably about right, isn't it? Kiotis ecstatic. He wasn't playing. Tikwari's injured. Cafu pushed him, didn't he? So no good with that. Just this. The reason, of course, of doing this, of course, is because we've had trouble with some people loading the saves. I will put a message out for tomorrow about what happens there. Tato, thank you very much for being on tonight. Entertainment as ever from you.
Hey, Tato.
3 players suspended for Iron Curtain going into their crunch match against the Wolfie Wolves. Mourinho was that 2 yellows, wasn't it? It's 2 yellows.
2 yellows, yeah.
One of them was backing in, and the other one was, what did he do? Upending someone. I think you can't really appeal against that one. Amoroso signs a new contract. The Norwegian side. Just clicking through, it's only a few days. It's a good job it's not like 2 weeks before the rounds, but the fitness will be massive on this, won't it? Imagine Madrid, I can see them going. I can see a manager being sacked here. It's just too close. Beating the Flamingos reserves there. May have to start listening to being sacked there. Fortuna.
It's not going well, is it, for
Wacky
me?
Racers. The confidence update there. Pleased at Wolves. Ewan Rovers get there. Yeah, it's generally satisfied. It's looking good for them. Very pleased. The Badgers, very pleased. They were okay, Tato. Don't worry.
It's funny, isn't it? The Badgers manager doesn't seem too happy, but the board are.
And Iron Curtain may be gone before long. Generally satisfied. Doesn't sound hugely impressed there. Generally satisfied there as well. I think they'd be much better.
Wolves manager's not happy, look.
We could be losing the Flamingos. There's only 2 days before the next match. Maybe that'll be a stay of execution. Pleased at East Coast. At Halls, very pleased. Pereira signs a new contract. And we haven't lost any managers. So, a very quick check through their squads. And we start off at Flamingos. And we'll just go through condition for the players here. We can see that there is a condition for Flamingos. Just going to go through all of
I
them.
think they should probably keep the place. I think they'll be fine.
For Alan Well, it's a squad entirely... Is that true? An entirely 100% fit squad? I will just
they maybe didn't have to exert too much effort in the last victory.
Check on that the condition is right on all teams. Yeah, it is absolutely right. 100% fit squad. Badgers, they go into it with just a few players there. Good night, Wolfie. We're just checking things through just so those people who can't get the save can do that. So good night.
Good night, Wolf.
Thank you very much. And then for Iron Curtain, they've got suspensions and players off form and all sorts going on there. It's going to be an interesting selection. East Coast, yeah, Esteberia, Ferguson, Luis Enrique, a few players potentially out there. Ewan Rovers, there's a few key ones there, especially Carl Laurie after his performance there. for Falaraki, pretty much fully fit. The young players there. Flamingos we've seen. Fortuna, there's no real problems there either. Heading into their match against
Just the
Flamingos.
quality, I think, is the difference, isn't it?
You can see some of the youth players that have been brought through into these squads. Hulls, well, Figo is looking a bit knocked there, but at least they can see that they've got one of their players back from injury, Raul. For Imagine Madrid, Anelka at 76%. Has he bothered turning up for training or something?
He's probably just not bothered training, hasn't he?
No,
He's gone but not done anything.
Bartes, of course, at 55. We won't be seeing Andreasen, we won't be seeing Baggio, but will Roy Keane keep his place? Then Racers, just Barnard you'd expect there with his -3 for stamina. And
He's got 4 now, hasn't he? Yeah, he's
yeah,
gone
up
up.
to 4. And Wolfosaurus there sees that Nygaard is at 84. He won't be playing anyway. Fortesh at 90.
When's the next fixture after these ones?
And with an amazing week before the next round as well.
Is that the same for everyone?
That
Or is
will
there
be
a
the
cup
same.
game?
I believe that there's only the cup game. Oh, there might be one match. There might be one match. It's the 3rd. It's not even July anymore. It's August. You might be right that there is one cup game.
This is the one midweek match, isn't there? I think where the others are playing cup, and I don't know if it's this week or not. I don't think it will be. I'm not sure.
It's Imaginary Madrid versus Hulls in the league, which is the one fixture that we played there. You're absolutely right. And then it's followed by a full round and then the 6 games. So I'll get that game sorted out at some point. There won't be a midweek round for these next week. We'll probably just put the Hulls Imaginary Madrid game in at that point. So thank you very much, Quinton. Thank you to everyone who's joining the chat. Obviously this show's gone on a bit longer to look through those bits of conditions. Plenty there. Thanks again, Quinton.
Thanks very much. Good night, everyone.
And good night.